Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Breathe Motivation. My name is Anthony Hester. I'm the host for this show. So glad to join you guys this week. My goal is to help you find purpose and passion in everything you do on a day-to-day basis, and that's why I'm here every week. So glad to join you guys. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that now so you guys don't miss another episode. And if you guys could review on any platform you guys have, I'd love to hear the feedback, and I love seeing that. So I would greatly appreciate you if you guys could review on iTunes, Google, wherever you guys can do that. And I also wanted to say thank you guys so much. I saw a big increase in downloads and listens this week. I really greatly appreciate you guys. I know some people are tuning in that are new, people that have been with me since day one. I greatly appreciate that. It's the greatest honor to see that uptick in, the listens and downloads, because that means you guys are out there sharing with family and friends and, recommending this. So that's a great honor. So thank you guys so much. I want to tell you how much I appreciate you guys for doing that. So let's get started with this show. Today's episode in definition is going to be aim. So it's the point or direct at a target. So it was interesting and how these topics come up and how I go through these. It's kind of interesting and how it works. I had this idea of aim in my mind, and I didn't know exactly where this was going to go until I, kind of overheard a conversation. It wasn't even a conversation I was a part of. I know, that might be a little weird, or every once in a while when you're at like a restaurant or in public, you obviously hear different conversations. And I thought it was interesting of one of the conversations that I overheard while I was eating lunch. And I thought it was interesting and I wanted to share that. But, these people were talking about potential. And they were, in the conversation, it was the discussion of the potential of, people. And, it was the conversation about a potential person or a person on their team that, was potentially has a lot of high potential. And I was like, man, potential is a funny thing. And it really got me thinking. As I was listening to the conversation, I was thinking about potential and how it works. And potential to me is something that could be a huge trap for most people. And I thought that was a very interesting thing. I've never looked at potential as that way, because I was like, and many of you guys probably have heard this, hey, you've had, you have a lot of high potential to be successful. And I think a lot of the times that can create some added pressure, or that creates, this, kind of cap, a limit of how far you can go. Because one, as you start to talk to people that, talk about people with high potential, that gives, it kind of creates these unfair expectations on a person, right? That's what creates the pressure of that. You see this year in and year out. I'm a big sports fan. And when I look at the NFL draft, you see these college players that come out and, all of these, scouts and all of these, people on TV are talking about how they have the potential to be the best quarterback or best, whatever position they play. And, you get this feeling that man, these guys are really, this potential, the high potential. Can you imagine the pressure of being under this high potential? And I thought that was amazing on the thought of potential and how it can become a trap, because you get so caught in the fact that, man, these people think I have high potential. I gotta attack it. I gotta make sure that I reach this fulfillment of what these other people's expectations are. And I think that can be a very dangerous thing, because that can create a lot of stress and pressure on yourself when you aren't able to really see that within yourself, because a lot of people struggle with that, with confidence or self-esteem. Or, it's an unfair expectation. If you don't reach the expectation of the other person, then they're going to look at you in a whole nother way, right? Or, they talk to you so high, talk about you so highly to other people, and, maybe you have an off day, and then that creates more pressure, because now that person's like, oh, what is this guy talking about? So it kind of adds pressure to multiple people at that point. But I think potential can be an imagined limitation. And that's really what I thought about, was like, man, how much of a limitation is that for you to grow and for other people to grow and get better? And I think that's an important rule and an important idea for us to really, catch on to, is to have that growth within ourselves, but also, really realizing that we can aim high and accomplish some things that we never thought we could accomplish. And I think that's an important thing, is to aim high in your goals, aim high in your dreams, because things can happen. And when you do that and you take action, number one, that biggest thing that's going to fulfill potential is going to be taking action towards the things that you enjoy doing. And, like I said, potential to me is like an imagined limitation. I never thought of it that way. So you don't want to limit yourself based on what other people think of you, right? It comes back to some of the principles of breathe, right? The E in breathe was exceed your expectations. Your expectations of yourself are what create that ability to be successful. Only you can create the success that you want. When you start to listen to other people and really get caught up in the thoughts of other people or what other people think of you, you start to limit yourself, and those limitations become very, very tough to follow, right? The limitations that you create within yourself are something that you can overcome. When you start to listen to other people's opinions about you and who you are, that's when you start to have self-doubt. You start to have fear in the things that you really are, afraid of doing, right? You're not going to take as much action because you're like, man, I feel all this pressure. All these people, feel like I can be the best, but I'm not, performing to that capability, right? So there's a lot of things that can happen, but I can tell you, when you aim high in your goals and your dreams and you really focus and take action towards those things, guess what? That potential is starting to be reached based on how you do it, right? It's a potential for you, the potential of you to grow, right? That's how we have to look at potential. I have an opportunity and the potential to grow each and every day. It's a matter of me taking the action towards what I want to do. And a lot of that comes with the vision of being, aiming high. We've got to aim high. When you start to set your goals too low, obviously you really can accomplish those things, but a lot of the times people aren't satisfied because they are only accomplishing, these little things that everybody's capable of doing, and you're not pushing yourself a little bit further. So that's what you've got to be able to do, is aim high, create the goals that you think, maybe that you even think that you can't reach. But as you start to take action towards these goals that you can't reach, you really start to open up more success towards you, and you start to learn more. You're going to start to grow more. That's when success really comes to you, is when you are aiming for things that look impossible. And that's where you really create the character that you have and who you are as a person. You start to push the boundaries, start to push the limits of what your mind thought or is telling you or trapping you into thinking, right? That potential, is there for you to be successful, or that potential is there for you to fail. But when you take action towards something, it's not always a guarantee that you're going to find success, but I guarantee that you're going to find some growth within yourself to be able to say, hey, this is something that I really enjoy doing, or this is something that I don't enjoy doing. I don't ever look at it as a success or failure. I look at the opportunity of growth. And that's an important thing for everybody to look at, is the opportunity for growth. If you're in a situation where you cannot grow, that's what's going to limit that quote unquote potential, or those situations of you finding success, because you're going to only limit yourself by really not having those accomplished goals or what you want to get accomplished, right? That's important for success. You've got to aim high. You've got to look at goals and really just attack those goals to find success in what you're doing. So when you do that, you're able to really go and focus and make things happen. And don't be afraid to really set high limits of what you need to do. You need to stretch yourself. You need to really focus on all the greatness within yourself. And as you do that, you're going to see, and one of the great things to do is really looking back and seeing what you've done and what you've accomplished. Because as you look at those things that you've accomplished, those are things, at times where you had the most confidence, at the time where you had that high of self-esteem. That's where you really find that character and that drive to really become the best you can be. Your past is an opportunity to look back and find a great focus on what you're doing. And when you do that, you will always grow and get better. So take that opportunity to look back on things and times where you were so, in the zone that you were able to create that success. And that's how, you look back, and that's how you really recreate your thought of aiming high. Visualize yourself aiming high and accomplishing those goals. That's a big key to success, is visualizing yourself already there. And as you already get there, you start to see how your life goes and how your skills develop and how you get better. It's kind of like a roadmap to success. That's how you do it. So don't be afraid to look back or visualize on what you do, right? On how you accomplish these goals, because that will create more accomplishment for you. So let me leave you with this quote. It is better to aim high and miss than to aim low and hit. And that's Les Brown. So go out there, aim high towards your goals, aim high towards your dreams. And you remember that potential, listen to your potential, or focus on your potential, or don't even look at potential, right? Because it's an imagined limitation. That's what's going to hold you back, right? So go out there and really focus on aiming high, and you will see great things happen for you. So follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Breathe Motivate, like my page on Facebook, Breathe Motivation. Check out the website, breathemotivation.com. I really appreciate you guys again for tuning in, sharing this, helping this show grow. That's always a great thing. I love seeing that. So thank you guys so much for giving me the chance to help you guys grow and along your journey. So thank you so much. And as always, remember to breathe motivation and exhale success. I'll see you next week. Thanks.